Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another exciting video. It's a palette that I've had for a while. It is the Juvia'S Nubian 3 Coral palette. I'm finally getting around to this palette. It has been on my list every year for 2 years and just kept getting pushed back because new things kept coming out and I wanted to get those filmed. But I've decided, no, you're going to do it, Carla. You're going to get it done. You're going to get this palette done, reviewed, swatched, all that kind of jazz. So now I can actually play with it properly. But yeah, this is a fun palette. I love the cover of this palette. It's so beautiful. And I love the colour story. It's what really gets me. Like, it's just so stunning. So, for me, an easy neutral palette. Perfectly neutral with that weird element of the silver in there. The way the corals and the orange and the kind of neutral warms go with those silvers is stunning. The darkest shade is a matte. The lightest shade up here and here are shimmers because this, yeah, it's light, but it is a transition, which is good as well. I just think there's so much I can do with this palette. I think it's such a fun colour story. I'm going to pop up some swatches now as I'm talking. It's the usual Juvia'S matte formula, so always good. And you've got those elements in there to make it a bit grungy as well, with the silvers, with those kind of darker neutrals as well, and the little pop of orange you have for like the brightness as well, which is what we use today. Yeah, I feel like this palette is such a fun palette, such an easy palette for me to use. It's one that I'm probably going to gravitate a lot to when I'm going out because even if I want to be glam, I still have that little fun element of the silver with the corals, and it's something I'm going to use a lot, I think. Definitely going to use it a lot. Okay, so let's finally get in to the Nubian 3 Coral palette from Juvia'S. I'm just so obsessed with this colour story. I think it's so beautiful. So we're actually going to recreate a look I've done years ago. It is on my channel, I think, still, but before I got into like talking videos or anything like that. We're going to do like orange and silver, obviously, because they're both in this palette, but I want to use like these two here with a little bit of this neutral to blend, and then a silver kind of like half lid, inner corner, like a third of the lid and inner corner, and lower lash. It's a look that I always have loved, and I would kind of want to recreate it with this palette because I think it'd be really fun. My skin is on, my brows are on, my eyeshadow primer is on, which will all be listed down below, and I've also got my cream bronzer on, which I'll talk through at the end. So let's start. We're going to start, there's no names on this palette, so I'm just going to point to the colours. I'm going to take this orange here. Well, it's more coral, but it is the most orange of the palette, and it's a matte finish. I'm taking that on a 217 from MAC, and we are going to pop that on the lid, really pack it on because I want the orange to really stand out in this. And we're going to go about 2/3 of the way across, so about in this far. Just pack it on, make sure it's nice and even, and then I'm just bringing it up a little bit past the crease so it'll still be orange up there when we start blending. And I'm keeping this kind of rounded as well because that's the way it was in the way I did it before. So as I said, I'm recreating it, so I want to do it very similar. I'm going to take that same shade on a teeny weeny little brush. I got this on eBay. This is going to go along my lower lash. Again, about the same way in, just leaving a little gap on the inside because I want the silver to kind of wrap around the whole inner corner, and connecting it out here as well, but also bringing it down quite far because that's the way I like it. Next, I'm going to take this quite neutral shade. It's an odd shade, the kind of shade I love. It can be grey, it can have a more of a brown undertone to it depending on what you pair with it. So we're going to use that on a, what is this, BH Cosmetics Rose Gold number 6 brush. Big fluffy brush, and we're going to take a little bit of that and just start to fuse this out. Now if you start losing some of the orange, add more. This is not the kind of thing I would have done back when I did this sort of look, like having something like this, and I probably wouldn't have even applied my shadows this way, where I start with the main colour and go that way. I'd usually always start with my lightest shade and then build up, but this is how I do it now. I always find this works better for me now. But this will kind of blend the orange into my skin a little bit more, have this kind of grayish sort of effect around the edges, which will go with the silver. It'll all just work together. And I'm also bringing some of that in the inner crease here as well for when we apply the silver. There's something for that to blend into as well. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that orange on the 217 and just re-intensify that where it might gone a little bit neutral, but again I still want to see the neutral. I just don't want that to take over the orange. Then I'm also taking a little bit more of that neutral shade again on that big fluffy brush. You can use a smaller brush if you want to, but I just want to blend right along the edge of the orange down here, just so our blend is the same. This kind of shade adds more of that grungy kind of effect to the eye as well, because these colours are bright. We're not going with any more dark shades. Well, I don't think so, but I don't really want to go any darker. I want to keep it nice and bright, but it does add this like kind of weird murky element around the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer, and we're going to basically apply that from the inner half to about 2/3 of the way across this way, so overlapping the matte orange. So just picking up some of that and tapping that over, and when I have less on the brush, that's when I'm going over the orange, because I don't want the shimmer that I apply over the orange to take over too much from the orange, although it is a kind of orangey shimmer. I just want it to kind of start to fade out so the orange and silver can blend into each other nicely. And then whatever's left of my glitter primer on the brush, I'm just taking that a little tap of that across the inner part of my lower lash line, just again because I want the silver to stand out in here. Okay, so now picking up a clean brush, because again, if I use them with the glitter primer, it'll pick up a lot of the product. I want to keep a bit of control over it. This is a BB207 flat brush from Beauty Base, like a thicker flat brush. And we're going to take this light peachy shimmer, peachy orangey shimmer here, and that's just going to go over the orange on this, like where it starts to overlap into the matte, where the glitter primer is. Ooh, she picks up beautifully on the brush. And we're just going to tap that over the glitter primer. Just cover up that glitter primer mostly. I will go back in with a little bit more orange to blend. I know it looks a bit random in the middle, but I'm going to blend in a second. I just want to get the silver on. So we're going to take the lighter silver. There's like this darker, almost gunmetal shade, but this lighter, brighter silver. Taking that on the brush we applied the glitter primer with, which is a BH Cosmetics Rose Gold number 7. Just that flat brush there, but it still has the remnants of some glitter primer. We're going to pick up some of that silver, and he is going to go on the inner part in here. And then just start overlapping that with that peachy shimmer. And then I'm going to take a little bit on the tip of the brush and just pop some on this inner part in here. And on the inner corner as well. So lots of silver wrapped all the way around. Gives me kind of like cyber vibes, I don't know why. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of the orange again on the same brush we used for at the beginning, the 217. And just tap that over that shimmery peach, because as I said, I don't want the shimmery peach to take over the orange. I still want to be able to see lots of orange, so I'm just probably blends in more than I normally would when it meets shimmers. Just kind of want the orange to have a sheen across the lid, and that's it. I don't want to lighten it too much. And then take my big fluffy brush with that neutral shade, and just where the edge of that grey is in here, I'm just going to blend because I don't want any harsh line here. Okay, quite a simple look. Like, it's not too fussy. It's only have to take me like 10 minutes to do that on both eyes. So I am going to jump off. I'm going to finish off the eyes, add some fun bits to it, and do my cheeks, my lip, and a pair of lashes. And I'll let you know what I use when I get back. Alrighty guys, so this is how I finish off the look. I am in love with this look. I already loved the look anyway because I knew I had already done it, but I still love this look. And I've kind of just like, I don't know, brought it more into my style now, adding like the way I apply my makeup and everything like that. So we're going to go through everything that I used on my face to finish this look. So to finish off the eyes, I added this because I feel like I did that before, but I couldn't remember, but I wanted to add it now anyway. I used my MAC Super Slick Liquid Liner in the shade Nocturnal, just to do like a little like liner point over the silver in here, just to really brighten that up as well. And it's only in like certain lights you can really see it, but it does add more of a shine in there. For my liner on my waterline, I went in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Cuff, which is just a silver. Pop that on my waterline just to, again, brighten it up and tie the silver in a little bit more. My mascara then is my Clinique High Impact Mascara. It's not my favourite mascara in the world, but it's grand when I'm wearing lashes. It just kind of coats my lashes, makes them longer, but doesn't like add any volume or anything like that. So not my favorite, but I don't mind wearing it when I've got lashes on. And for my lashes, I used my Cash Beauty Charm lashes. That's the box off them there, but they're just not the longest. They're just more dense in the root and a little bit wispy on the end. For my bronzer then, I used my Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzing Cream in the shade Fair, just to contour up and warm up my face a little bit. For blush, I wanted orange again, so I went in with my MAC blush in Modern Mandarin, which is like a true orange, just to give the same kind of effect on the cheeks as what's on the eyes. And then for highlight, I don't really have many silver kind of highlights, so I just went in with my Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter, just to give me that kind of glassy look to the skin, really wet look to the skin. And then onto lips, I went in with my MAC lip pencil in Stone, just like a grey brown, and I've also got the Stone lipstick here, just the same kind of color. I just popped those on just to give me like neutral with grunge, with that kind of grey tone to kind of tie in with everything. I don't know, I just really think this lip goes with it. And then over top of that, I wanted a silver gloss. I used my, what is this one called? Shazam lip gloss from MAC, very nearly empty, and it was my first MAC product I ever bought, but it just got like silver and pink and kind of goldy green sparkles in it. But I just used that just to give me a bit of shine on the lip, but I wanted silver, so I went with this. So that is it. That's what's on my face. That is our look. It's first time, finally. I have this palette like 2 years, still haven't used it. the Nubian 3 Coral palette from Juvia'S Place. It's a beautiful palette. I love the colour story, really gets me. I can always think of like multiple things to go to, and I think it's such an interesting colour story because you've got those cool tone greys and silvers with the warm corals and some neutrals in there as well. This is a kind of neutral palette I would tend to gravitate towards because your darker shade is a matte, your lighter shade is a shimmer, these two here. And I just think you can do so much with, well, I think I can do so much with this. So I can't wait to get into my 2 looks 1 palette using this. It just gives me a lot of ideas, a lot of food for thought for this palette. So I want to know down in the comments below, if you have this palette, what do you think? What kind of looks have you created with this palette? Let me know, give me a little bit of inspiration as well, because although I have lots of ideas running through my brain, I want to know what you guys have done with it as well. If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support to get me around to more people, and also let me know that you liked the video, and I will continue to do many more. And don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We've got more 2 looks on palettes, more declutters, more chatty ranking videos, that kind of thing as well. So hit subscribe to see all of that coming up. And as I said in the beginning, my Instagram is linked down below where I post all the up close pictures of my looks, and my TikTok is down there as well, so you can go follow that for a little bit more content. So yeah, I think that is everything for me, guys. So I will see you in the next video.